Good evening, aspirants. Welcome you all to the daily current affairs session brought to you by Ganesh IAS Academy for the date 29th June 2023 for the news which appeared in Indian Express newspaper. So let's get straight into the current affairs session, today's current affairs session. So then first news is the National Research Foundation gets center's note rupees 50,000 crores over 5 years for R&D. That is from the title itself we could able to understand that a separate apex body is going to be created for research and development in India. But that too, they are going to focus on linking the research as well as development activities with the higher educational institutions. So this is what the news is about. So we will look into what is the content of the news. So as we have already mentioned, the National Research Foundation, an apex body to promote and mentor. Oh, 1 minute. To promote as well as fund and mentor scientific research in higher education institution across the country with the focus on cultivating the culture of research in the university and colleges. This is the main objective of the body which the central government is going to create. Second is it will be in the line of the National Science Foundation of United States, but it is not the modalities of this National Research Foundation will not be the ditto copy of the US. The National Research Foundation is adapted according to the situation that is prevailing in India. It is not the models are not completely adopted from the US. It is adapted to the situation. Third is right now we all know that India is spending a fraction of amount in R&D when compared to the other developed countries like US, China, Israel, and so on, and other Western European countries. So they are spending right now. They are spending only 0.7% of the GDP in research. Scientific research, as we all know that each and every state is sponsoring, is having a dedicated body for their research and development in their own state, as well as center is also is providing some funding, subsidy, scholarship schemes for the development of science and technology. So we could able clearly see through this implementation is that there is no coordination between these different states, as well as there is a lack of coordination between the center as well as the union in implementation of the science and research and development in India. So there is no uniformity in infrastructure as well as funding in the area of research and development that is taking place in India. The science and engineering research, which was the SERB, the Science and Engineering Research, the full form is Science and Engineering Research Board, which was set up in 2028. It was responsible for funding science and tech research as well as tech startups and setting up incubators, funding science related projects in center as well as state universities. That is, it is the pioneering, a body which was present in India before the National Research Foundation is வரதுக்கு முன்னாடி இருந்த ஒரு பாடி இது. So the National Research Foundation will observe the SERB, that is Science and Engineering Research Board, into its fold. NRF would promote research in natural science, engineering, as well as social science and humanities. The objective of the National Research Foundation, that is NRF, is not only to promote the research and development in higher education institutions, but they are also aiming to diversify the research area in in sectors like natural science, engineering, social science as well as humanities. So they wanted to link the science and research development with the society and also with the industrial requirements. This is the another aim of the NRF, which is going to be set up in India. The incomes under departments, it comes under, as we all know that since it is related to research and development, it comes under Department of Science and Technology with 16-member boards. The governing board will consist of 16 members, 2 members from uh, Department of Science and Technology, 5 members from industry, 1 from humanities, 6 from the nature of the project which the board is going to evaluate. So based upon the project which the board is going to evaluate it, the 6 members will be selected according to those projects. Since the National Research Foundation will encompass activities across different ministries. So there can't be one they can, the ex officio president can't be only one a ministry from the a ministry from a particular department, a minister from a particular department. So the prime minister will be the ex officio chairman of the board, ex officio president of the board. Because as I said, the activities of the NRF will be spread through different ministries. So that is why the PM is going to be the ex officio president of the board. Since the National Research Foundation is going to be set up in India, which is the another next version of the Science and Engineering Research Board, which was set up in 2008. So let's look into the what does the Science and Engineering Research Board mean. It is a statutory body which comes under departments of, as we have said, science and technology, to promote research in science and engineering and to provide finance. It only promotes science, basic research in science as well as in engineering, not in terms of social science as or humanities. So that lacuna is going to be fulfilled by the gap is going to be filled by the NRF, which is going and SERB, that is Science and Education Research Board, will provide, as we have seen in the previous slide, financial assistance to person engaged in such research, academic institution, R&D laboratories, industrial concern, and other agency for such research. The board has an oversight committee, the governing body of the SERB. The member of the oversight committee will the advise and assist the board in taking important decisions. This is what the factual or conceptual part of the Science and Engineering Research Board is. Another another important missions which India is implementing in order to promote R&D in India is National Supercomputing Mission. As we all know, supercomputing is the highly performing computing system which would be able to perform several billions of calculations or operations simultaneously. So the mission enables empowering our national academic and R&D institutions spread over the country by installing vast supercomputing grid comprising of more than 70 high performance computing facilities, that is supercomputers. These supercomputers will be connected to the national supercomputing grid. Grid. These are all supercomputers. Similarly, under this, there will be various academic institutions will be connected. Similarly, for this also, this is how the structure of the national supercomputing is going to be connected, so that there could be um, information related to so by through accessing the national grid we can able to access the information related to another discipline research or multidisciplinary research activities that is taking place in India. So this is what the national supercomputing mission is going to promote. And another, the supercomputing will be networked on, as I said, on supercomputing grid, which I have discussed right now. Another is it also includes development of highly professional, high performance. It not only connects the institutions with the national supercomputing grid, it also trains highly professional person to be aware of the supercomputing process supercomputing methods, so that they could able to develop applications with the help of the data which is available in the grid for the creation of application which is of national relevance. It also that is another is it comes under Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, MEITI. So this is what our national supercomputing mission is going to promote with by providing by creating a structure or gathering every R&D institution under one fold. They are going to promote the research institution, research and development across disciplines, so that multidisciplinary research and development could be promoted. This is what the national supercomputing mission aims about. So another important mission which is also aims to promote R&D is national quantum computing missions, and it is also comes under Department of Science and Technology. It creates a vibrant and innovative ecosystem in quantum technology. 4 thematic hubs uh, will be quantum computing, quantum communication, quantum sensing and metrology, quantum materials and devices. The hubs will focus on generation of new knowledge on the corresponding streams, which will be set up in top academics as well as national R&D institute, which is present in India across states. So this is what the national quantum computing mission aims about. So these 4 hubs will be promoting research in their corresponding areas. For example, quantum computing will be promote research in the quantum computing and the methods used in the quantum computing. For quantum communication, the research will be about communicating between the two underground station through the satellite using quantum technology. And third is quantum sensing and metrology. As from the name itself, we can able to know it is related to the R&D of metrology and remote sensing using the quantum technology. Another is materials and devices. The devices as well as materials which is used for manufacturing of quantum. So the research will be based on those materials as well as the device. These are all the thematic apps which is under which the national super quantum computing which comes under the national quantum computing mission. So what we needed to study further, since the mission is related to quantum mission as well as supercomputing mission, we have to know about what a supercomputer means, what is the relation difference between normal computer as well as supercomputers. Second is quantum computing. What does quantum computing means? And India has one supercomputer. So what is the name is? What is the supercomputer pair enna? What are all its future? What are all the operations which it could able to perform right now? Another important thing which you have to know is national knowledge network. This is a India network which aims to connect, similar to the national supercomputing grid, which aims to connect the entire academic as well as research and development institutions through common network, and through this network only uh, Through this network only, the national supercomputing grid will be connected. This national supercomputing grid will perform operations. So that we have to know about what does national knowledge network means. Another important news which came is here is government clears 3.70 lakh crore agri package urea subsidy to stay until March 2025. So government has given us a let of a set of initiative for the agriculture sectors. What does it? அது என்னன்றதை இப்போ we will look into it. So PM Pranama, that is Program for Restoration, Awareness, Generation, Nourishment and Amelioration of Mother Earth scheme to incentivize states to reduce the use of chemical fertilizer. Under PM Pranam scheme, a market development assistance to promote organic fertilizer from Gobardhan plants, that is biogas plants. This is the second initiative. Third, and this market development assistance will give an incentive of 1,500 rupees per ton to support marketing of organic fertilizer, which is produced as a byproduct of Gobardhan biogas plant under the Gobardhan initiative. Okay. Then such organic fertilizer which is produced as the byproduct from the biogas plant will address the challenges of crop management, stubble burning, while also increases farmers earning. Farmers will get uh, affordable organic manure since it is getting subsidized by the government at the rate of 1,500 rupees per metric ton. Cabinet is also decided to set up on a nano urea plant. So and also they are going to aiming to increase the production of fertilizer so that our import dependence on the fertilizer will get reduced and certain amount of forex reserve could be saved. So this is what the news content of the news is. So that we will look into that. We'll get one step deeper into the news so that we could able to have a clear understanding about it. For 1 minute, there's some technical glitch. Okay, let's get into one step deeper into the news so that we could able to have a clear understanding about the other aspects of the news. Since the news is related to urea subsidy, so we have to know about what is urea subsidy schemes. Urea is sold at statutorily notified price, which is announced by the government cabinet. It is being provided to the farmers at MRP 242 per kg per 45 kg bag of urea, excluding neem coating charges as well as taxes. The difference between the market price as well as the MRP, that is subsidized price, will be given to the urea manufacturers directly, so that the farmers will not face any kind of brunt in accessing the urea, so that their input, agriculture farming input, could substantially be reduced, as a result of which the output of the products also will get reduced, so that the consumer price will also get reduced, which in turn will lead to reduction in the inflation. This is what the scheme aims about. Another important scheme which the government has announced today is Urea Gold scheme. It is nothing but the sulfur coated urea being introduced for the first time in India. It is more economical and efficient than neem coated urea. Urea is the rich source of nitrogen, which is essential for the growth of plants or any kind of crops. But the main problem of this urea is, whenever the urea is applied to the crops, the urea will get converted into ammonia, and this ammonia will get denitrified as a result of denitrified fastly, as a result of which the nitrogen will escape to the atmosphere at faster rate. So the available nitrogen which is present in the soil is very less, so that அந்த கம்மியாக இருக்க ஹைட்ரோஜன் பார்த்தீங்க அப்படின்னா அந்த crops doesn't get the enough nutrients, enough nitrogen nutrient from the soil, as a result of which the nutrients present in the crops is less. Sometimes because of lack of nutrients, the crop gets failed, so that to reduce the conversion of this urea into ammonia and the ammonia to denitrified, and on the release of the nitrogen into the atmosphere, a neem coated urea was introduced 2015. This neem coated urea inhibits, it prevents or slows down the process of conversion of these urea into ammonia and then into nitrogen. So as a result of which, the amount of nitrogen which is present in the soil is very high when compared to the normal urea, so that the crops will have enough number of nutrient reserves present in the soil. But this sulfur coated urea is one step ahead of the neem coated urea. It also inhibits or slows down the conversion of urea into the nitrogen, urea into ammonia, and then ammonia gets denitrified, and then it gets escaped into the escaped as nitrogen into the atmosphere, will be slowed down or inhibited by the sulfur, as a result of which more number of nitrogen will be present in the soil, and this nitrogen will get absorbed by the crops easily, so that the crop will be very high rich in nutrient, and there won't be any kind of crop failure taking place. So the government is introducing the sulfur coated urea. That is why it is called as economical and efficient than neem coated urea, because the rate at which it inhibits or slows down the release of nitrogen into the atmosphere is very high when compared to neem coated urea. It will address as a result of coating of the urea with sulfur, it also addresses the sulfur deficiency present in the soil. Sulfur by itself, it will act as a kind of nutrients. So it also saves input cost, since a normal urea or neem coated urea, the பார்த்தீங்க அப்படின்னா the amount of nitrogen which gets released into the atmosphere is very high, so that farmer will have to buy more number of urea or fertilizer to get applied into the farming land. But in case of sulfur coated urea, since the conversion is the conversion of the urea into nitrogen is very less, the small quantity of this sulfur coated urea is enough for good good production of the crop, so that the input could be saved, and also which in turn increases the farmer's income. This is what the scheme is related to, urea gold scheme. So another important scheme which was given a push, which was introduced earlier in the March, before 10 months itself. It is given a new push, that is PM program for restoration, awareness generation, nourishment and amelioration of Mother Earth. The scheme aims to, as I said, reduce the use of chemical fertilizer by incentivizing the state. By providing incentives to the state, the scheme aims to reduce the chemical fertilizer used in those states farming system. Under the scheme, the state will adopt alternative fertilizer. Which are all the state is adapting alternate fertilizer, that is organic fertilizer, will be incentivized with the subsidy that is saved by reducing the usage of chemical fertilizer. As we all know, government is subsidizing the fertilizer, that is urea, which is also one kind of chemical fertilizer. The state which is reducing this chemical fertilizer will be subsidized from the amount as we saved from the subsidy given to the state because of the usage of chemical fertilizer. For example, see, this is the example. For example, if the state is using 10 lakh ton of conventional chemical fertilizer, if it reduces its consumption by 3 lakh tons, then the subsidy saving would be 3,000 crores. If it is reducing by 3 lakhs means, then the total conventional chemical fertilizer used will be 7 lakh tons. Then the remaining 3 lakh tons will be from the organic fertilizers. Since there is a reduction in the usage of chemical fertilizer, the government subsidies going to this state will also get reduced. But these subsidies will be given as incentive to that particular state which has reduced the usage of chemical fertilizer. For example, that subsidy, for example, by reducing 3 lakh tons means, government, if the government is able to save up to 3,000 crores means, out of that 3,000 crores, the 50% will be given to the state. For example, 50% means 3,500 crores will be given to the state for again promoting the alternative fertilizer, that is organic fertilizer, and their related infrastructure and other development work in the agriculture. Since the scheme works based upon the reduction of the subsidy, it will not have any kind of separate budget. It will be based upon the savings the government obtains from the reduction of conventional chemical fertilizers. It will be financed by saving of existing fertilizer subsidy run by Department of Fertilizer. Out of the 50% subsidy given by the center to the state, from that 50%, the 70% of this can be used to create assets related to technological adoption of alternative fertilizer and alternative fertilizer production unit at the village block and district levels. And the remaining 30% grant can be used to reward and encourage farmers, panchayat, other organizations, those who are raising awareness related to the usage of organic fertilizer. அதை வந்து ஒரு அவார்ட் மாதிரி they can able to, the state should give those to those persons, so that it will act as motivating factors for other person also. This is how the 50% of the fund which the center gives to the state should be spent accordingly. So as we have seen that in market development assistance scheme announced by the center, they are going they are, they will be providing some incentives of not incentive, a subsidy of rupees 1500 per ton metric ton to the organic fertilizer which is obtained as a byproduct from the biogas plant. This biogas plant will is set up under the initiative of Govardhan initiative. It is a kind of scheme which was launched to ensure cleanliness in village by converting a bio waste into including cattle waste, kitchen leftovers, crop residues, and market waste into biogas, it is renewable gas, to improve the lives of villages. Since the waste is converted into the wealth, that is wealth means biogas, it improves the lives of villages, particularly women, because women are mostly are the ones who are affected by the usage of traditional cooking methods. So by using the biogas in cooking means there will be a reduction in the pollution, as a result of which the women, those who are cooking, the women's health, those who are cooking in the rural areas will get improved. There won't be any there will be reduction in the percentage of amount of women people affected by the asthma will get reduced. Govardhan, as we said, will benefit rural people in general, women in particular, usage of clean fuel, and it will improve cleanliness in the village through the improvement in the health, and it comes under Ministry of Jal Shakti. Under this only under the Govardhan initiative only, the biogas plant will be set up under each gram panchayat or block level division, or at the district level or at the district level unit based upon the population. So since the government will be providing some subsidy to set up the biogas plant in the gram panchayat or division or in the district. This biogas plant will be supervised by those gram panchayat only, or in the case sometimes it is it will be supervised by the self-help group, and it also aims to promote. Govardhan initiative is also aimed to அவங்க வந்துட்டு ஒரு startup ஒரு entrepreneurs கூட promote பண்றாங்க. Those people, those who are interested in using some new technology in promoting in building the biogas plant will also get subsidy in this scheme. So since the kitchen waste, the cattle waste, the crop residue, and market waste will be turned into biogas, the farmers will get another kind of livelihood. It will act as a kind of livelihood. The biogas which is obtained from the biogas plant which is run by the gram panchayat or the block level division, or in the certain case the district level, the farmers pathina idu இன்னொரு ஒரு வருவாய் மாதிரி இருக்கும், because they could able to sell those biogas to the restaurants, hotels, other cities, etc. So it will give and இது ஒரு பக்கம். Government is now under Pranam scheme, a market development assistance, that is as we have seen previously, the rupees 1500 will be given to the per metric ton will be given to the organic fertilizers which is produced as the byproduct of the biogas plant. இப்போ 1500 metric ton கொடுக்கறதுனால என்ன ஆகும்னா, farmers will also produce the organic fertilizer from the what is it, இப்போ biogas plantல இருந்து நிறைய கழிவுகள் வரும். அந்த கழிவுகள்ல இருந்து farmers வந்துட்டு பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா இந்த சப்சிடியை கேப்சர் பண்றதுக்கோசம் they will be producing some organic fertilizer. This organic fertilizer will be sold to the other parties, other people, so that it will also again act as the revenue generation for the farmers. And again it will also, since the government is providing subsidy, for example if the uh, for example if the cost of the per metric ton of organic fertilizer is 3000 rupees, means since under the market development assistance government is providing 1500 rupees as subsidy to the marketing subsidy to the organic fertilizer, means the farmers will be selling the farmers, that is the biogas plant supervisors, mostly they will be farmers. The farmers will be selling the organic fertilizer at the rate of 1500 rupees in the market. So the other farmers, those who wanted to use organic fertilizer in their soil, they could be able to access the organic fertilizer at cheaper rate. This in turn enables to increase the usage of soil, organic fertilizer in the soil, which improves the soil health. Then it leads to corresponding improvement in the ecosystem as a whole. So this is what the entire scheme is going about. So what we have needed to study further, since we have seen content or details related to the conversion of urea into nitrogen, we have to know about the nitrogen cycle, entire nitrogen cycle. Second is we have to know about what does neem coated urea mean. As I have explained earlier, we have to know some little bit extra facts, extra information related to this neem coated urea. And what is soil health card? What is nutrient based subsidy scheme being implemented by the government of India? Another is organic farming and natural farming. What are the difference between them? This is what we have to know, other than the details of the news, so that we could able to have some understanding about the peripheral area of the news. Okay, another news is bad loans comes down further. Gross NPA at 3.6 by the next March. So from the topic itself we could able to know, come to idea is the gross NPA of the country scheduled commercial bank is declined to 3.9%, which is 10 years low, which is 10 years lower. The reason for the decline is higher loan growth, decline in the slippage, better recoveries, write-off of bad loans. RBI has conducted macro stress test. Macro stress test, and they have predicted that in 2024 also there will be the reduction of gross non-performing asset will be 3.96%, which is way lesser than the March 2023. What are all the elements which the RBI considered while doing the macro stress test is credit risk, interest rate risk, liquidity risk, resilience of commercial banks under normal scenario, or if the economic scenario is medium worse, or if it is adversely worse. Under these three scenarios, the government, RBI has checked the gross NPA, checked the projection of gross NPA, net non-performing assets for the March 2024, and they have, as I have said, they have predicted it could be 3.6% for the March 2024. So what does non-performing assets mean? It is a loan or advance for which the principal or interest payment has remained overdue for the period of 90 days. If for the period of இப்போ ஒரு 90 நாள் வரைக்கும் ஒரு பிரின்சிபலோ ஒரு இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் பேமெண்ட்டோ வந்து ஒரு கிரெடிட், ஒரு டெபிட்டர் கிட்ட இருந்து கிரெடிட்டருக்கு வரல அப்படின்னா that asset will be considered as non-performing asset. Again, if the non-performing asset for a period of less than or equal to 12 months அப்படியே non-performing asset-ஆவே இருந்தது அப்படின்னா it will be considered as substandard assets. And again, if the asset is converted into is made to substandard asset, means again if the asset if the substandard asset is in the substandard asset for period of 12 months means it will be called as doubtful asset. And again, these doubtful asset for the period of 12 months will be converted into lost asset. Lost asset according to RBI is uncollectible, and it holds no values by using the values in the balance sheet in the asset side. It does not produce, it does not have any kind of meaning using by, since we all know that credit will be considered as asset by the bank. So இதை ஒரு அசட் சைடில் வைக்கிறதுக்கு எந்த ஒரு மீனிங்கும் இல்லைன்றத ஆர்பிஐ வந்து சொல்லுது. ஸோ வாட் டஸ் ரைட் ஆஃப் மீன்? Loan is an asset. The loan in an asset bank balance. Write off means it will, as I have said, the credit will be considered as asset in the bank's balance sheet. Whenever the government is writing off a particular loan means that loan will no longer be considered as asset in the bank's balance sheet. But in the balance sheet only the loan would have been disappeared. But banks will continue their effort to recover the loan from the debitors. The write-off doesn't mean the loan related activity completely wiped off. No, it does not mean like that. It means only the asset section of the particular credit will be taken off, but the activities related to the recovery will be taking place simultaneously. Banks writes off this is what does write off mean. So what we needed to know further so that we could able to have the holistic understanding about the non-performing asset. What does Mission Indradhanush means? Mission Indradhanush mean in banking industries. What is SARFAESI Act? What are all the important provisions related to the non-performing asset in it? And what is the purpose of creating insolvency and bankruptcy code? What are its function? And what are all the minute factual element the code contains? What does bad bank mean? And what is the National Asset Reconstruction Company Limited, which is the Bad Bank of India, first ever Bad Bank of India? What does it mean? The Recovery of Debts and Bankruptcy Act 1993. It provided debt recovery tribunal. What does it mean? What are its function? Under how many days does the tribunal will takes does the tribunals take to finish a particular case, that to close or and what are all the maximum amount allowed to get for the maximum amount allowed for the case to be considered on the debt recovery tribunal என்னன்றதையும் நம்ம பார்க்கணும், பார்த்து வச்சுக்கணும். Chandrayaan 3 to take off on July 13.